Hey everybody, welcome back to X's for Show, your premier media response show. But tonight we're not media responding. No. Two of us are sitting back with our feet up like we're watching the Puppy Bowl, and one of us is getting down and dirty and getting in the game on this special late night broadcast, servicing all of you folks Pacific Coast time and more.
Oh no,
I don't know.
His face is gone.
Oh, what? Oh, his face is gone. Well, we will. That's fine. It's his helmet.
Give me 1 second. Sorry.
There we go.
All right. I'm NICO Action, NICO
I'm TK. You can find me at TK Elemental.
I'm your producer, KEVO. You can find me at KEVO Really. Back at full capacity. Thank you very much. And super psyched to continue enjoying this game that we've been enjoying so much so far.
Right. And I'm super stoked. I don't have too much to add. I think it's really all this gentleman right here. Who, I mean, you guys can't see where I poked, but I promise it was a good general poke area direction vibe. Oh, so explain what you're doing.
I just am spraying. That's all. I have one spray. I'm not willing to buy any of the other ones. So
this is just
sorry,
Splatoon.
I have 3 now.
So he's playing Marvel Rivals, and he's currently playing as Cloak and Dagger, and
I feel like everybody can see that, right? Is this going on the podcast?
Well, I mean, whether or not it's going on the podcast,
it's polite.
Yeah, because everyone might not know what you're streaming, because we're also servicing multiple areas, though we are definitely hitting up Twitch, and we love that we're on Twitch right now. Hey, all of our Twitch followers. We're also on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. We're everywhere.
This horrendous ableist monster will refuse to describe what he's doing.
I do. That's right. I refuse.
I think that the weirdest thing for me about the Marvel gaming ecosystem right now is how everything is just really eager to do its own thing. I feel like things are like, oh, check out Rivals, it's over there. But it's sort of in that same way that like every Marvel comic book does a variant cover, a little bit like the Snap variant, the Rivals variant, the Future Fight variant. I feel like this could be such a good, thriving ecosystem. You're always saying that you, TK, that you wish that they would be like a little bit more of like an organized Splatoon league.
Yes.
Right. And I feel like Marvel could just fucking fake it till they make it and just throw together a Marvel league, just all the Marvel games all at once. Who gives a shit? Who's going to argue with them?
I mean, it's unfortunate that they are so disparately produced. Like our other favorite is Contest of Champions, mobile fighting game produced by Kabam. And I'm like, at this point, I'm hoping that Kabam gets bought out by NetEase because I love Contest of Champions. And I would really love for it to be able to be part of something like the Rivals ecosystem. But it just feels like it is the only game, the only Marvel game that didn't really do any kind of Rivals celebration when Rivals came out, which I felt was kind of notable.
I sometimes wish that things adopted a little bit more of a Final Fantasy meta attitude toward it. I would love it if Snap was just a card game in the Rivals universe.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where like I feel at all times like, so we just did KEVO, God, please help me. What is it called? Meow Mix?
Oh, Meow Wolf Omega Mart over in Las Vegas.
We just did that out in Vegas, and one of the things we were just hanging out with BFF of the show, platonic love of my life, Ben, and we were just talking about how he's done the Philly one and a couple of the others, and how they all are super fun, but like none of them actually have a plot. They totally do, in that way that Sleep No More is legitimate theater. And so God, I'm glad Tori's not listening to this one. But
what was that game that you played that you were really into before those things were really ready for market?
Oh my God. So I was a fucking early adopter and massive obsessor for Ingress.
Yes.
I used to have to travel to play
Pokemon Go.
Yeah, way before Pokemon Go. I would like, that's why I was like, oh my God, Niantic is behind this? I was like the one guy.
Exactly.
No, I was really into it too, actually.
It was so much fucking fun. But so it kind of reminds me of Midnight Suns, because like Midnight Suns is a prime example of a game that had, listen, it had story writers and it had a plot, but Midnight Suns had a plot the way the outcome of the games affected the outcome of the episode of Sports Night. It really wasn't about the actual score at the end of the day, just that sports.
It was about you coming home to me and your mom. That's what it was really about.
It was not about sports camp. It wasn't important that everybody got to play. Midnight Suns, it was not about superhero camp. It was not important that everybody got to play. And like, if you could just forego the pretense of I need a fucking plot, some of these games would be better. But if somebody could really sink in and be like, no, here's the Final Fantasy level, make you want to kill yourself plot, I'd be in on it.
That's very fair. I've been thinking a lot about how I wish NCOC would graduate. What I've really been thinking about is the fact that I don't care about Injustice, but if they made Injustice for the Marvel Universe, I would lose my mind.
That's one of the reasons that we're going to be covering TVA on the comic show soon, because it's basically Exiles, and more than anything, that's what I want. Number one, I want Exiles.
Yeah, I would like Exiles back, although not in this era.
Whenever anybody's like, I didn't realize that Exiles is the following thing, I'm always like, I don't know what to do with you. Number one, how don't people recognize that Exiles is just straight the fuck up the real world? When that blew your mind, I didn't know what to do. I literally didn't know what to do. And then the other thing is, how don't people realize it's literally just Doctor Who? They travel with the TARDIS, the TALIS.
Yeah, that it's Doctor Who I definitely got. I really did not think about the fact that Judd Winnick wrote a bunch of it, and that it really is. I don't really think you're right about who Puck is, but
it's 6 strangers picked to live in a time machine. Like, it is the wackiest thing.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's the game that I really would love. I would love it if you could, like, and I know the problem is what I'm asking for is like, it's somewhere between, I almost said Phil Spector. No. It's somewhere between Warren Spector and whatever person lied to us about No Man's Sky. I would love it if you could like assemble like your I want this person and that person and the 6 people you assemble to be your Exiles.
Which kind of is what Rivals is, because it's, it's multiversal heroes.
But like, I don't get to pick the team. We don't go to a specific
you don't get to pick
mission.
the team.
There's no plot. There's no like.
There is a bunch of plot. It's just.
Well, but it's not going to. It's not going to be what I'm. I get. Yes, they're totally. But like, it's not going to be because I picked a Wolverine and a Cyclops and a Colossus. This team best fits into a Dark Phoenix saga over a Kang supremacy.
Yeah,
like
I hear what you're saying.
This is generic melee fighting, which I'm about. And the story is in a good way. It's the way NCOC has a story,
Well, I have a question. TK, how caught up are you on Lower Decks at all?
No, I haven't watched Lower Decks in a hot minute. But you can spoil it. I don't care.
Without spoiling too much that isn't just already on the surface, from the very beginning, they've been talking about a lot of multiversal stuff.
Yes.
Parallel universe stuff.
Tiny universe.
They went full tilt for the penultimate, and are probably going to go even more full tilt. And I, am thinking about the future of the MCU and what we are going to get with Secret Wars. And I'm really thinking a lot lately about the not just viability, but the actually hungry audience for multiversal stuff. And whether or not we might start seeing more of that, not just in gaming, but across all different forms of entertainment, be more easily accepted. Pew, pew, pew.
Jeff.
And I think that's one of the things that is at the heart of what Contest of Champions actually is. I'm at the heart of what Contest of Champions actually is. It's a game about multiple versions of these characters all coming together.
Yo. And that's what Rivals. I mean, like, it's so funny. Marvel both loves and hates its multiverse. It loves the opportunity for like merchandising and for being able to sort of commercialize characters, but it has really stopped loving it as like an institutional memory machine, I would say, more than anything else, which is what it
And
felt like it really used to be.
It's also funny how still for so many people, even just the idea of crossing over the X-Men with the Avengers is practically multiversing.
Yeah.
Even just the major properties within Marvel feel so significantly different.
And I think the other thing that Rivals is unfortunately asking us to do is it's asking us to focus a little bit more on gameplay modality than it is asking us to focus on the marvel of it. And I even hear it, and like, there will never be a game that can service the needs of comic related story on a functional level without being RPG in some way.
Yeah.
And like, it's just part of the fact that we're talking about a medium that literally has words on the page. It's not just dialogue. It's literally, they can gorgeously describe the scene just as much as they visually show it gorgeously, just like this game visually shows everything gorgeously. But the game does not also have an extensive amount of text over these battles where the battle pauses. We hear the text. We talk about the feelings. Like, I'm replaying Final Fantasy Tactics Advanced right now, and the number of times we're in this turn-based game, people just stop to have an extensive conversation about their feels. You can't do that in Rivals. It would not work. And that is something I think comics need.
I love
Not
when Jeff
exclusively, but like in
Look at
addition.
him. Yeah.
Wow, they're really going after each other in the comments for this one. Let's see how I did.
It's immersive.
Not my best game. Okay. It's interesting because Rivals is also in this place of really competing with Overwatch. And one of the reasons I fell in love with Overwatch was because of Overwatch cinematics and like the story in Overwatch, which they gave great background. You learned a lot about where they did incredible world building and incredible like story building through world building, but it was very difficult to tell like an immediate story. Like, this is what's happening today in the Overwatch universe. They did a little, but like it got really convoluted and then they kind of stopped caring. And Rivals, I suspect, will do something similar. And I guess what could really stick the landing for me is if they can actually tell the story of what's happening in game and not just kind of the background. I do think there is potential here, and I would love to see if they do like rival cinematics, like really some really good animation and some really good storytelling in that way. I think it is possible, but I know that it's one of those things where like people are going to play the game either way. And there are definitely, you're absolutely right, there are better game genres for doing like good comic book hero storytelling. And that's also kind of the reason why I think you're absolutely right about the fact that I wish that Marvel games were under one production umbrella, so that there could kind of be like a mission statement of like, Rivals can be the competitive multiplayer game, and we can finally produce another X-Men Legends, and like that can be more of a storytelling game, because those games were chock full of story. It was just nonsense because of the time they were created in.
Yeah, and also, so one of the facts of those games is that they were kind of limited by the nature of what we could do when the first one came out, because I was talking to Kevo. So this channel also covers a lot of Drag Race, and at work that's for the people listening. at work, my day job, I created a party for an event, and the party was called Kudos to You for, and I don't remember what the first pitch was, but eventually we got it to Kudos to You for sharing, which is the quote from the show. But this one is going to be Kudos to You for holidaying, because my job loved this party so much. I am now doing them ongoingly. But they are I like, a lot of the questions are silly and sarcastic. And I said to KEVO that I'm having trouble coming up with new silly sarcastic questions, and he was kind of like, okay, but sure, what if you do this time, and then next time what are you going to do? How many times can you come up with new silly questions? And like, I literally thought to myself, you know what, I got my job and they gave me like some of these positions in this, you know, company that I love working for, because they think I'm good at the wheel. Why would I reinvent the wheel when they already love what I'm doing for the wheel and I've only been there, you know, X amount of time? Give them what they paid for, folks.
Yep.
And like, I think when there's altogether there's Ultimate Alliance 1, 2, and 3, and there's X-Men Legends 1 and 2. Yeah. And that's essentially the 5 games of that oeuvre. And so like, in some ways, they were never going to be able to get beyond what was creatable in the first game, because they've only gotten 5 games in. They're not at reinventing the wheel yet. Why would they? Which in some ways is limiting. So it's kind of fascinating, because having gotten to finally play more Rivals, I had the weirdest tech problem with this game. It was the strangest thing. Finally, not Sad Panda. So good for me. Having gotten to play more. No, I mean, like, one of the things that I really do appreciate is the fact that there is an effort to build an in-game story that supports itself and holds itself up. But like, all it needs to do is hold itself the fuck up. It doesn't need to be compelling. So like, that's different than a game where the visuals and the gameplay aren't so beautifully executed that it's mind-blowing. That needs compelling storytelling to be, you know, top priority. It's a matter of like, one of the reasons that Earthbound has such a good story is because it literally had no choice.
That's a very fair point.
You know, at one time was asked, or one time we were at a friend, a couple friends, a friend, but they were a couple, and only one of them owned the house, which, trust me, it came up more than once. But we were at their house for a get-together, and one time somebody literally just, I mean, this was that group of friends, one of them was in their GIMP suit, and the other one said, I wonder what happened to money shots in porn. And you know what? We got high-def cameras. We no longer needed to zoom in and do it again. So, like, that's
such a beautiful lesson.
That's the thing. Like,
no, it really is. Like, for as silly as it is, it's true. Like, the one thing I will say about, I love killing a Scarlet Witch when she's about to go off. The one thing I will say about Legends in particular and Ultimate Alliance is that all of those games, except for Ultimate Alliance 3, which is an abomination, happened before Diablo 4.
I was about to say, no, dude, I was definitely playing so much Diablo to make this guy like me in high school.
Yeah. No, I'm talking about the new Diablos that had the same isometric game style, but were just so loaded with content.
I just want to be clear real quick. I played a lot of games already, but Alex really only played Diablo and listened to Tool. So I already listened to Tool, so I had to start playing Diablo. You guys have to understand how disappointed I was when it was just top-down Legos slashing each other, and then I ultimately did fall in love with it. But God, he was really beautiful. If it helps.
Again, I love the stories for tonight. Yeah, I don't know. I would be interested for them to copy that model too. Marvel can just copy what other people do. I don't care. It's very funny that people are looking at this game and are so upset at the idea that it's an Overwatch clone. I think that's the thing it's best got going for it.
Why would?
Nobody
Yeah,
does
I don't.
ever reinvent the wheel.
I don't know. I feel like
Glorious win.
one of the reasons that when you think about classic video game characters, they work is Clark Kent syndrome, right?
Oh, I think you can cure that up if you just get a shot.
Oh, okay, got that. I was like, oh, wait, do you want me to take a screenshot of it for you? I'll take it. It's a good screenshot. I'll cue it up for you.
Kryptonicillin.
I as a guy who fundamentally does suffer from can't stop Superman flexing syndrome.
You do have that for sure.
You do have that Superman flex.
I do got them big biceps. So like the thing that happens is Superman could have remained an arrogant brat forever. But like that's not compelling. That's gross. That's unpleasant. And so he evolved to this place where like you can't even believe how cool and evolved and emotionally capable Superman is. And it's a thing I strive to be now. And I'm very like I'm proud to be like I'm a Batman who kind of like all Batmen secretly wish that we had Clark's cool. And it sucks. And so like but it's aspirational.
Didn't we establish just last week that you are Superman?
Yeah. But I'm not, because like nobody who is Superman thinks of themselves as Superman.
It's okay if you think of yourself as Superman. You are very Superman, and you are not at all Batman.
Well, listen, Twip.
You're like Batman cool, like you're a cool guy, but like you lack the desire to be in caves.
I prefer like outdoors, not caves. I do hear you. But so like
a Batman is also Bruce Wayne, so
but like to all of this, guys, tell me who Mario brother is. Who is Mario Meatball brother? Who is he? And who is Luigi Parmsub brother? His brother. Describe their personalities. Now, I know you're going to say that Luigi is reminiscent of the cowardice of Falstaff and how that is sorry. How that
the degree to which I was not going to say that.
Just wasn't expecting Falstaff.
But
nobody's ever expecting Falstaff.
No one's ever expecting the Spanish in Falstaff.
There
so
you go.
No, didn't expect it in Gargoyles, didn't expect it here.
Did not expect it in I almost said Chasing Pavements. No.
With Joey
Doors.
Lauren Adams and Ben Affleck?
Listen, Sliding Doors starring Joey Lauren Adams and Ben Affleck would have been compelling.
It's true.
What movie had the Other Texas song? You can say what you want, but it won't change my mind. Anyway, it was a song. That's covered under the Twitch license usage because if it's faithful, it's okay. And she also sounded like she was singing through an accordion. So anyway, Mario is so cool. He is kind of like David Bowie in that like he's like 11 different kinds of cool and you can't really pin him down, but like when you see him on a box art, you're like, oh, whatever's in that, if I buy it, I'll have a good time. I'm not going to buy this one maybe, but I will buy some of them. You know what I mean? Because like the number of people who went nuts over Black Star at the end there, Lord, I don't think any of them bought I'm Afraid of Americans, so fuck yourselves. But so like I think Overwatch as a game entity is maybe ultimately going to be stifled by its time, but the idea that Overwatch has the power to transform, to evolve, new iterations, it'll always be able to get ahead of that if it chooses to. I think Rivals is not going to be something that survives for 1 trillion years, but the fact that the characters in the Marvel universe are so clearly defined. They're not the Donkey Kongs. They're not the Supermans for video games. They are the Captain Americas of comic books. That's not the same thing. There isn't, I think, other than the Batman Arkham franchise, And perhaps if this Spider-Man series keeps on as powerfully as it has, I don't know the last time there was an outrageously successful comic book adaptation superhero video game series that was able to sustain itself in its own separate narrative comic book universe that was so important that we couldn't stop talking about it.
I mean, it's really a huge part of it is the fact
Injustice. You already mentioned it. Duh.
What's that?
Sorry. Injustice. You already brought it up.
Yeah, I mean, Injustice was pretty huge for a while there. I think one of the big things about Rivals is that it is filling a gameplay. Like Overwatch is really a problem in terms of like Blizzard really gave up on the game in some big ways, and they really disappointed their audience. And Rivals actually does have the opportunity to kind of fill a competitive shooter gaming niche, and like, you know, particularly if they get their like actual professional competitive play stuff right. I mean, like Overwatch League was really big for a while, and it failed because it was really poorly managed, and because a lot of us don't really understand what professional esports as an industry is. But the fact that, like, I mean, it's so tough because like you can just always play baseball, you know what I mean? Like, but you rely on these companies to maintain these games in order to continue to be a pro esports player. And when Blizzard gave up on Overwatch, I mean, of course they would say they haven't given up on Overwatch, and they, you know, it's not like they stopped developing for it, but it is not in its heyday right now. And Rivals really has the opportunity to kind of pick up on that. And in that way, unlike a game like Injustice, it almost kind of doesn't matter what the content is as long as the gameplay works. The content is just kind of yet one more thing that will get people to show up. And it was a thing that really worked for Overwatch because they made these cool comic book heroes, but then they kind of fucked it all up. And the nice thing for Marvel is they already have a ton of comic book heroes that they can use.
Speaking of that, real quick,
Please.
number one, I just got an update from IGN. So anybody and nobody should care because I'm not the handsome blonde man playing the video game, or the sexy hatted man producing. My hatted, you're my Madeline Hatter. God, she's perfect. But my favorite video game series of all time is Final Fantasy. And IGN confirms 16 minutes
because the video game wars tonight.
Final Fantasy VII Rebirth officially coming to PC in January 2025. Best day of my fucking life. Can't wait. So happy.
There should be a 10 and 10-2 announcement. That
In
might
what
be
regard?
Later.
What? In what regard? 10. I mean, 10 is fine. 10 is amazing. Listen, when I go to sleep at night, I think if I dream it hard enough, I'm gonna wake up a Tom of Finland, Yuna of Xanarkand. And listen, if one more fucking person says to me, "You don't know your canon, she's from Besaid," I am going to drown you in the flooded rivers of Kilika, you fool. I'm going to summon Anima, and I'm going to eat you. Anyway, speaking of too many heroes to talk about, TK, did you sign up for the 10-year anniversary 10-day drop?
Yeah, of course.
So I got a 6-star Spider-Man Classic.
Yeah, and then they gave you 2 more.
Because there was a drop mistake?
Yeah. So now everybody has an Awakened Classic Spider-Man.
At
40! Wait, KEVO, what you got?
Speaking of heroes, we have a comment over on IG from show contributor Tori Sheehan to say, the way I tuned in just in time for Luigi is Falstaff. So, congrats.
Yeah, that tracks. That's where we need you, Tori.
If you're asking me, for detailed analysis.
And I sense that you are.
I do not know why, but Jeremy in the pilot of Sports Night is just always. My
Glorious
absolute
win.
my king of all kings. By the way, congratulations, king of all kings. My king of all kings at 5-star is my Gwen pool. I wish that she came in as high as my Elsa Bloodstone. I wish she came in as high as my Doom. But if I use her, it is always guaranteed bleed and confuse every time. Every time. Every time. Getting this 6-star, I have saved an Awakened Stone for her. I am so ready for this. This is delicious justice.
Yeah, I think I will awaken Jabari Panther when we get that one. And then I think maybe I get one more, but it's not somebody impressive. I'm hoping they just keep making mistakes and giving me more people. Getting Gambit today was fun.
All right, so I do want to say, oh no, today you get Gwenpool. Go open your app.
No, I got Gambit today.
You got Gambit this morning, but the drop is technically at 7 p.m.
Did I not play until? Okay, I gotta check that.
But I do want to say, and I'm kind of like I'm like a big old about this. I just realized I can't say it. There's stuff I say about myself that's accurate. I get to say it. That's technically hate speech, so I'm gonna self-censor. As a dude who loves Bara, there is a popular cheesecake artist on the internet who joined our alliance. So technically, we have enough people for Alliance Wars now.
Oh, I did not know that. Who is this person?
Oh my God, Rage Gear Studios
Joined our alliance?
Yeah, because Ray has been my friend for a decade.
You need to update me on these things.
Yeah,
It's
no,
very
Ray.
important information.
Ray and I are
Friends
gonna
with
farm
Candy
XP
Muse.
together. Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna say. So I have this friend. I have this friend that I love a lot. I'm gonna message him after I say this about him, and like, if I knew someone who was basically Candy Muse, it's this guy who's like this like straight Italian guy from Staten Island. Hey, and like I love him with all my heart, but he's basically, you know, Candy Muse. And I was explaining this to Jonah, who thought I was saying that my friend Anthony was secretly.
You're
this
like,
whole
my
time
friend
Candy
Anthony is Candy Muse.
Secretly
And
been Candy
Jonah
Muse the whole time.
froze dead and gave
terror.
him
terror.
the deadliest
Terror.
look, as
Terror.
if to say, is this how you're telling me your friend is Candy Muse?
Oh, Jojo.
Oh, Jojo. Truly.
A beautiful boy.
Um,
Ah,
so
Alright.
will he do our weekly alliance quests?
Oh yeah, no. He and I are gonna farm refined XP together. Like he's like a daddy on a quest.
Because the thing is, we're not actually at this point, because of the way they changed it, we're not doing better with two of us playing. If you play alone, if one of us played alone, we would get the same amount of coin out of it.
Oh, so then maybe we go back to one map and just help each other.
I
out.
think if we had a third person,
mapping
we
map
we would go up
on one map or two.
on 3, because we can do 3, right?
Well, but I mean, but what if we went up a map? Like,
Oh, is there another level to go up?
there's 2 more levels to go up. I have
Oh.
a set like.
I think we could definitely do that.
But like, we would never finish it on our own.
Yeah, no, I hear what you're saying. I think we could definitely do a map together.
Yeah, if you think we can go up a map, then we can. Basically, if you can handle the nobody is weaker than Vox as a mini boss, but I would say that there are non-bosses that absolutely make Cosmic Ghost Rider look like a baby boy.
Huh, interesting.
Yeah, I've been shattered to pieces on that map a couple times. Oh,
Fascinating.
there's also I don't know if it's an error. Let's go with an error. If you ever get to the penultimate node that is resultant
Um,
in a terminus node,
yeah.
it will just get you there, even if you don't have the spaces for it.
So I need to be alive and get to it again, but you need to. Oh no, I don't have sound on for it. God damn it. Next time we play, I'm gonna put sound on for the game because you need to hear Moon Knight's call for when he does his ultimate. Because he says like the moon is coming for you, but the way he says it always reminds me of the way you do the muse is back. And that's what I say every time he knocks his ultimate, I go,
even
the
better.
muse is back.
I told Kevo how much
Moon is
like
back.
there's very few things I can think of in this life where I have made you laugh and the look on your face.
Well, it's one of those things also is so
surprise.
funny because it came out of I was not expecting you to go that hard just for that one example.
The muse is back. Like she is like
Yeah,
a
she's
giant
not fucking
hamburger.
around.
She is like that's like, I have a couple of terms that I use, like singing like an asshole specifically means singing too hard in a situation that it seems like you are singing happy birthday like Rihanna at the BET Awards.
Christina Ing for millennials.
Yeah, Christina Ing or oh god, why can't I think of her name? TK, who is the girl from is it Fifth Harmony that basically does blackface at this point?
Well, there's Jessie from
Jessie, that's what I thought it was.
Yeah.
Thank you. Oh, it's even who she does she does I Want a Bad Boy, right?
Yeah, bad
Yeah.
boys for life. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, perfect. Wait, why was bringing her up? I was so relieved that I had it right.
I truly do
Being
not
like
know.
assholes because of your Muse's back impression.
Oh, thank you so much, Kevo.
That's what I do.
It really does take 3 of us to do this show.
It's unbelievable. I still don't have exactly why I was bringing her up, but Kevo, that you brought me back makes me feel so much better. Asshole singing. Oh no, no. Jessie is an example of a person who avoids asshole singing. In girl groupery
Because she's very busy being an asshole person.
Unfortunately, I literally described her as the lady who does blackface.
Yeah, a little bit.
But in contrast, Camilla Cabello at all times.
Oh, I gotta listen to "I'll Be Home for Christmas." It's the season. I forgot. That's my Christmas party.
Yes.
It's me getting drunk on eggnog, listening to Camila Cabello say "I'll be home for Christmas" all over again. Like just on repeat.
Listen, guys, he'll remember it because he's TK and he doesn't forget these things. But the other day, TK just said to me, "Oh no, I've had too much wine," and like I was thinking to myself, "Yeah, you know what? I'll never judge anyone ever again for having too much anything because of the time that I was literally drunk on air at Quismos for our holiday song broadcast." So TK, if we weren't online right now, I would actually be bringing it up to you. What do you say about another holiday music broadcast bracket game of some kind, or Tori will absolutely club us?
I am super down for that. I want to make sure we do different songs.
So Kevo had an idea.
Yeah.
Well, I'm ruminating on different ideas of how we can attack it differently. Like, have there be specific categories that we pick songs for and from. Like, I was thinking about all of the different songs that people use for Christmas that aren't Christmas songs, like My Favorite Things, or I just saw an article about Hallelujah. Apparently people try to pass that off as a Christmas song, and it's definitely not. But the word Hallelujah, you can technically try and pass off as Christmas. Stuff like that.
I'm into that.
I was also thinking about the songs that specifically are like some of the most Christmassy Christmas songs that don't say anything about Christmas. The trifecta that I've come to so far is Jingle Bells, Sleigh Ride, and Winter Wonderland. When you
Winter
hear
Wonderland
those,
is a weird song, but yes,
Yeah.
yes,
but yeah, when you hear those songs, you think Christmas, but none of them say anything about the holiday of Christmas in them. Nice.
I'm gonna eat a Christmas tree cake on air.
Happy holidays.
TK, tell me all about your friend Vic and his brother Tori.
Well, let's see how we did. Was this a victory for me? This was a victory for me. I got most heals and most assists.
Yes, girl. Most heels.
Excuse me.
Black them heels.
I do be wearing them heels.
Did we mention that Mirage didn't really clack?
She did like twice. I was surprised she didn't do it more, but this evergreen content that we're bringing up now a year later is Oh wait, you mean she didn't clack in Vegas? Boo.
TK, for a minute.
All.
I had a powerful cycle of emotions.
Mm-hmm.
And
You?
I thought for a second, I was like, wow, he watched all the videos. He watched all of the videos I took of Vegas. That's wow. Okay, so he watched all of the videos I took in Vegas. I don't know that I shared the videos.
I was going
of
to say,
Mirage.
first off, you did not share them.
How did
so
he watch
what,
that?
What kind of creep am
Wait
I
a
that I
minute.
have access to?
Who
How did
is he?
see these?
Scott Bairstow in season 5 of Party of 5, in season 5 of Party of 5, where he hacks into Julia's files and does her homework for her.
I'm
Real story.
I'm Hugh Jackman in Swordfish.
Ooh, even better. I
Yeah.
love that for you. But yeah, no, he didn't find the files. He's not actually.
I thought we were talking about the clacking.
Wait, hold on,
what?
wait. I really can't believe you didn't know my middle name. That like blew my mind.
I feel like I knew at one point, and we just never talked. Do you know my middle name?
Nathan?
God damn it. Fair. The problem is when I play this game, I can't look at anybody's face, so I don't know what's happening.
No,
But-
I'm sorry. I'll be less madly in love with you. I'll check that at the door. I'll be sure to put it away. I don't
I
mean
feel like
to
you never
care
told
so
me your
much.
middle name. Let's be real here. I think that's what happened.
My middle name is literally plastered on all of my socials.
No, it's Nico J. J could be anything. I thought your middle name was J.
Like Homer J. Simpson.
Right.
Oh,
This is like Timothy Q. Mouse.
you are like if Homer was sexy.
I'm Ben Affleck? Their head, it's the same shape.
And K, so maybe. You know what? He'd be a very different vibe if he was gay.
Yeah, that really ultimately is big Gil Thorpe vibes. Ultimately gay. No, I think one of the big things that I'm really excited about with bringing in some gaming and bringing in TK playing for us, by the way, thanks for doing all the playing, is
I was gonna do it anyway, don't worry.
it's really exciting.
So cute.
Because like I the only reason I'm not doing it more is I realized how much I was looking down and not engaging with like looking at the screen, and I don't think that looks good on camera. But like legitimately, like I was sitting here playing my games, and like I play a ton of mobile games, I play a ton of console games, and like gaming is a big part of what we do. And even KEVO, who doesn't game conventionally, we game on this show all the time by playing our bracketeering kind of games, and like we engage socially in gaming. And I think in a lot of ways we haven't found the right niche for it on this show yet.
I mean, like, yeah, it's partially because right when we started doing the show visually was like when I stopped playing a lot of competitive FPS. Except Splatoon, which I don't know. I love Splatoon. I would have Splatoon streamed more if I didn't kind of feel like Nintendo was just completely leaving competitive gaming on the table. But I don't know. Rivals is kind of perfect for this because this is a game that I will just kind of sit and zone out and play for like 3 hours. It is the perfect streaming game. And it's a perfect streaming game for us because there is nothing that we have better lore for than this. I don't know why I just popped off my cloak thing there. Literally anything they throw at us in terms of like characters for this game, we are the best people to talk about it.
Yes.
Like
that I'm really stoked about.
You know, I actually really am disappointed that we didn't get a better volume of tie-in from the comics.
I completely agree. I'm shocked.
Yeah, I thought that this was kind of like, I think part of the problem is, no offense to Contest of Champions, this could have been called Contest of Champions.
Yes.
This,
I mean, as you said, they're kind of the same game. Like Contest of Champions is also a multiverse. Like you'll never believe who we got to show up in this game. Like there's an apocalypse storm that doesn't exist anywhere else.
I got it up on my screen right now. Let's see who's going in. You know what? I'll put in that apocalypse storm. I know I'm not like legitimately playing, but like I have the autoplay on, so it's just running in the background. That's Pyramid X Storm versus Maestro. Yeah, it's Maestro. He's the final boss in this map. So TK, you took a little time from MCOC to like get your druthers on some other games.
I didn't even do that. I just like was not gaming at all, and
yeah,
I was having some trouble with it wasn't like, it's not even, you don't need to play MCOC every day or with any kind of regularity, but I was getting so obsessed with my regular play that I was like, I gotta take a fucking break from this and just like do life differently for a minute. But now I'm deeply back into it.
So I in that time became Thronebreaker, and I do my gameplay a little differently now. When the new month's event comes out, I play through all of Uncollected beginning to end.
Yeah.
I go back, I play through all of the 5-unit cost, then all of the 4-unit cost, or 3, whatever it is, then 2, and like I systematically finish it, and then I spend the month slowly working my way through one each of the map of Thronebreaker. So I wind up with completion rewards on Thronebreaker, but exploration rewards on everything below it. And I think I should be able to finish the exploration rewards on Uncollected tonight.
Nice.
Someone asked over on IG, is the game worth the time?
Which one? Rivals? Oh, obviously the one he's playing, yeah. I mean, I would imagine TK thinks so.
What do I think?
That Rivals is worth the time.
Well, yeah, I definitely think it's worth the time.
Yeah, we're vibing on it so far.
Yeah, I there's a big part of me that's like, where are we going to be in a year? When is the other shoe going to drop? NetEase does not have a history of nice. Best heals, most assists. That's where I like to be. Oh wow, everybody else did really badly on healing. Okay, well, I feel good about that. Wow, fascinating. I definitely feel like this is a game that I could be in the midst of being like, this is the best game ever. I'm like going professional now. I love it so much. This is all happening in a year and a half. And then just NetEase is like, yeah, we're closing this down. And Marvel is like, yeah, this is done. We're just done with this game completely.
That's one of the reasons that I've loved these very fictional, very stupid. I mean, I need to hear some people smarter than the people I've heard say it whenever there's that Disney's going to buy Square Enix rumor. Because then they'd have somebody to churn out all of their RPGs.
Yeah.
That's what I'm afraid is going to happen to NetEase, that like someone else will buy them. And then they're going to say we're terminating a handful of contracts.
Yeah. Yeah, that's I mean like, and you know, NetEase has a reputation for just being like this Chinese company that makes terrible product and that none of us should trust, but they have changed a lot as a company. And the office that produced this game is very different than the office that produced a lot of the older mobile games that they're known for that are maybe not the best. So part of me is like, I still obviously have trust issues, but there's a big part of me, I really just thought I could back into where I genuinely think a health pack is, and that is not what happened. So like part of me is like, yeah, NetEase is a different company. It is like, there's reason to hope. And another part of me just kind of recognizes that, you know, we've seen this happen even with the good companies. There's no reason to think with just kind of like a random one, it's also not very likely to happen.
Well, to that point, I want to say, while certainly he did also work on Green Lantern, no question, let us never forget that Fable's Bill Willingham used to draw furry porn before writing Fables.
Who among us?
Right? So, like,
Right.
If NetEase, if their worst sins are some sketchy style mobile games with some, maybe even then, like, what was the worst thing that people said about Super War? Like, because they were behind Super War as well, right?
Yes, they were. Yeah.
As somebody who really appreciated that game, side loaded though it were, what was like, your biggest worry about it while playing it?
I had no worries about it while playing. I was bummed about the fact that it was not available in the US. And I mean, I'm always a little bit dubious of mobile games just because it's just a different world than the one I'm used to.
Than where you come from.
Yeah, my first console was a Super Nintendo. Like it's just a different world for me. And MOBAs are like competitive shooters. MOBAs are kind of a guarantee of some kind of competitive gameplay. Like basically what I'm getting at is that game could have been Marvel's League of Legends, and League of Legends is like one of very few games that has a competitive esports scene that continues to this day, that like there is kind of any possibility of making it with and so looking just at the function again, it's like this game kind of aping Overwatch. Marvel had this whole staple of characters that they could do a MOBA with, and the fact that it was mobile only just kind of meant that it was never going to get to a certain level that I was always hoping that it would get to. And I sort of always felt that there was this capacity for it to get canceled, for exactly what happened to happen for it to get canceled. it feels a little different with Rivals because it's a PC, PlayStation, Xbox game. But that's no guarantee of anything.
Mhm.
One of the things that I think that's really significant is if you can play the game mindlessly, that's a tipping point for me. One of the things that I find is I love the gameplay of Mario Odyssey, but I swear to God, that is way more than I want to think for a Mario game. I think perhaps the Mario You Gotta Think franchise platforming kind of apexed with Galaxy. I think Galaxy really is like the high point of the great mind. And so like for me, there's an element of where like I don't want to have to constantly evolve my brain to play some games. And like I feel like one of the things that I'm getting from watching Rivals, that I'm getting from playing Rivals, that I'm getting from having I'm I don't like doing things and coming in last. So I do a lot of like watching gameplay before I start playing a game because I'm a strategist. No big deal. You guys don't think it's weird when Dr. Doom does it. You guys think it's weird. I'm sorry, Dr. Doom is so beautiful. He doesn't need a mask. Sorry, guys.
You
but no.
you do wear a mask when you perform.
Oh my God, you are Dr. Doom. No,
really
no.
am. Hey, what's up, guys?
But you'll be the hot Robert Downey Jr. one, so good for you.
Cocky things. But so like
Think-
but I don't want to be weird, but like we're friends on Discord, and so like I see when you're playing, not to be like a fucking creep, but like
you also have to understand that like 60% of that time the game is just on.
Oh no, totally. But like, it seems like something you can be in kind of mindless, like not mindlessly, not without thought to put in, but like it seems like something you don't have a tough time continuing to play.
I think that's not inaccurate. That's not the whole story, but it's a piece of the story. I'll say this, I can't play the game and listen to an audiobook.
Interesting.
I get that.
So, okay.
Which this is taking away from valuable Brando Sando time, so just know how much I love you all.
Oh, I mean, no, dude, like, this has been a wonderful hour, so anytime you are
that was excited, a joke, don't worry.
Anytime you are good, because that's one of the things, like, I think that's like the nature of what these games generate. We were looking to generate some Rivals content, and the nature of generating Rivals content is having Rivals to play.
Yeah,
you can be a fan of something and just talk about it and have unbelievable screen grabs and unbelievable video, and be able to put together a project and also be able to talk about it. It's the whole part of being part of like the fan culture. I love being on Blue Sky right now because I've always been searching for a community for Marvel Contest of Champions, and on Twitter, mostly when I would post about Marvel Contest of Champions, women from indeterminate Russian countries who claim that these 4 unrelated photos are all the same exact them woman would respond that they were looking to meet single men like me in my area. And I
game.
Yeah, and instead, as soon as I start posting about my little MCOC fam on Blue Sky, friends of mine for years are like, "Oh my God, I play that. I didn't know you play." And I'm like, "Jesus fucking, I've been posting these photos for literal years." But you know what? No, the shitty algorithm over on the other website kind of fucked me over in that way. And so like, it's just been exciting to she fell to pieces. That was a Patsy Cline moment. I've just been excited to be able to kind of generate that sort of community to be able to talk about it. And like, one of the things that's great about Rivals, it's already there, by virtue of being, is it still technically opening week?
Yeah, I think so. I forget what day. Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, because it was like Friday or something, right? Yes. Well, yeah, it's been a week. It was Thursday night in America. So yeah, it has been 1 week. It's pretty funny that, like, apropos of nothing or like not in any way planned, this game came out right when that mass exodus from Twitter happened, in this community of so many like nerds and queer people and gamers and
Right.
comic book fans were all looking for a new venue. It has led to some very interesting conversations and communities forming, and just a really wild coincidence. This is okay. Wow, we finished. They were on like the last second of overtime that they had for a very long time. That was impressive.
Nice.
Just wanted that there.
How'd we do?
No, that's awesome. How'd you do?
Not great. I also came into this one late. I got subbed in for this one, so I think my numbers are not bad given that. I would have liked to have had higher heals, but again, that might have just been because I was early on. Let's see how I am doing in my progress.
You did not boots the house down.
I did not boots the house down, Slay Hunty.
Oh
But
no,
it's
but
always
I just want to say that this is one of the benefits of being on a little later than we usually are. We get some of our favorite people who are maybe on a slightly different time click than we are.
who we
And,
got? Oh, hi,
Hey,
Allie.
Allie Galactic.
Allie, so I don't know if you know this, Psylocke's design in this is from Peach Momoko's Demon Days. And so that is like that the multiversal version of her who has shown up for this is the one from Demon Days. But something that I was saying is very oddly, you can hear the voice actor has a British accent. And so I think that originally it was Betsy Braddock as Psylocke, in Conan's body, Betsy Braddock with her British accent in a Japanese woman's body. And at some point in the development process, somebody was like, "You guys can't do that. You have to figure something else out." But by then the voice lines had already been recorded, so they just kind of went with it. Because I don't understand how a woman from feudal Japan would otherwise have a British accent, and especially when like it would not be hard to cast a Japanese actor, voice actor for this character. But I do love the character design. I will say that.
I have an interesting question for you.
Yo,
How would you describe the language of the Thor Asgardian Marvel pantheon?
well, let's look at what we got. So Loki, I
No,
know
I'm
we're
saying,
doing.
how would you describe their language, like in the comics?
Oh, I mean, yeah, they're British too. Yes.
Yeah, they're vaguely British, Shakespearean, Middle English.
Yeah.
And they are Norse gods.
Yeah.
And now they're Australian.
Yeah, and nobody ever fucking questions it. So I sort of feel like if you're telling me in this world that it is, because like what is Jeff? What does Jeff speak? Does Jeff speak dupe?
Shark.
Yeah, he speaks shark. He speaks aquatic.
Hey,
Did you guys watch Twilight of the Gods?
No, I'm unfamiliar. What are you referring to?
It's a Netflix animated show about Ragnarok. It came out recently. Zack Snyder produced it.
Oh, jeez, Zack
It's actually very good. Oh my
Zack
god,
Snyder
somebody took
produced
Cloak and
something
Dagger.
vaguely related to something created by Alan Moore. Sure. As
Alan
Moore
Moore
had
didn't create Norse mythology.
No, he had Twilight of the
Mhm.
Superheroes over at DC. That was a complicated look at how the DC universe could be viewed as a pantheon and brought down to its knees. And Zack Snyder's most significant, critically acclaimed work is an adaptation of Alan Moore's depiction of how superheroes can be seen as a pantheon and need to be taken down. So I only think that perhaps it's reductive.
Well, to be fair, he just produced this. He just put his name on it. Other people actually made it. And it is very much just a Norse mythology retelling. It's very good. But it did make me think about the fact that, like, at this point, we really should have some, Norse actors playing some of these characters.
Yeah. Alexander Skarsgård. The whole Skarsgård team.
Yeah, just let all of them do it. Bill
They're
would
the
definitely be an
Norse
amazing
Hemsworth.
Loki, and Alexander would be a very good Thor.
I would love that all three of them could lead a band named their first name and the Scars Guardians.
Scars Guardians of the Galaxy.
And of this
Ooh.
galaxy. Sorry guys, I'm not trying to ignore the audience, but I have Alliance Quest things to do in a game.
Yeah, we're gaming tonight. Y'all gotta wait your turn.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Don't hurt Jeffrey.
Oh my god.
Jeff being in this is fascinating.
Why?
It is a little better product placement than Marvel often provides for the longevity of what Jeff has been to the cultural fandom.
Yeah,
you
I feel
think
you.
Yeah, when you think about how long it takes to create a game, Jeff being here reflects how long Jeff has been popular. And when you consider the unlongevity of Jeff as a character, it's just significant. Also, while you're here and I have you trapped, I'm going to bring up a can of worms.
I love worms.
How long is this fight?
Long.
How match are we?
Match. Why? What's happening?
Okay.
What do you want?
Craven's failure. What do I want? What I want
Craven's
is friendship.
failure.
What I
are
can't
we?
get is Sony to make a good fucking movie.
Yeah, no. I mean, yes. Is that what you want to talk about? Craven?
I want to talk about the fact that I saw an article that said Sony squandered Craven's good potential. And I'm like,
That's incorrect.
one of the things
Exactly.
one of the things that a lot of these characters really, really, really need in a significant regard is oh god, horrible misogyny, I hate women and sexually attack them blinders. Because, like, if they're a villain, they have at one point or another dragged a creepy claw across a woman's neck and said something like, I can smell you're ovulating. And, like,
Yeah.
Such a pretty thing.
I wish, Kevo, that's what the gay ones say.
That's the nicest. Yeah. It's the nicest version. It's the nicest possible version that you can get that, frankly, is still disgusting no matter how you slice it.
Also, I want to make a really weird statement. I just need to say this on air. I don't mean this as asexual slander. I think I've decided that Arcade is asexual. I think because people are always like, no, he's creepy. I don't think he actually creeps on the kids. I think he just wants to kill them. I think
I
forms of
like
fear...
that read a lot. Arcade is not horny at all.
No, he's horny for the murder. The murder is the horny, and like it's not about these children's bodies, it's about their life force. And like I just really specifically want that out of the Arcade vernacular. He has never drawn a claw across someone's neck in a way that I think fits the ongoing character.
Get it right.
That is specifically because in My Exiles is led by a child of an 05 X-Men Arcade. In this universe, he has powers. And his wife, Kitty, and their daughter is Penny Arcade. And she leads the New Mutants. And I'm obsessed with Penny. and so you can't stop me. She leads my exiles.
Multiverse.
She's a technopath.
I could see Arcade being an objectophile too.
Right? Well, so
He definitely
Penny
has fucked a couch or two in his day.
Penny can phase into technology and interact with it. So I feel like that's part of why he's like, oh, Kitty. And she's like, whatever. Fine. I just need affection in this universe.
They all
It's
do
weird.
things.
Arcade isn't a member of the original 5 X-Men. I just need love here. Like, it's fine. It's a universe where Hercules is a spinoff of Xena. You know what I mean?
Bum, 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 bum.
Okay, so earlier this came up, and TK, I just want to make sure that you're on the same side as me and Kevo. What is more unsettling? A dog wearing a zebra suit or a zebra wearing a dog suit?
Zebra in a dog suit.
I am
Yeah.
so glad. Okay. Just needed to
Oh, you
check.
guys can't hear him. He's making such cute noises.
Instead, you're making such cute noises.
I have to be Jeff's voice.
You know, Allie, I just need to be clear that you give me a stamp of approval on Arcade is a big deal to me because I feel like I am running out of X fans that I want to fucking listen to. Every now and then I come across one of these quote unquote hot takes. Hot take. Cyclops has complicated feelings. Shut up! Hot take.
Yeah, there's no
Wolverine
good
has an
hot
even
takes
number
anymore.
of claws. No, just
Me and-
go away. And so, one of the things that has me really frustrated is that, like, people I thought were capable of really complicated conversation are all just sort of going, but Gail Simone every page. And I'm like, yes, Gail Simone every page, but what do you also think? And they're just like, oh, it's just like Krakoa's over, And I'm just like, I'm feeling like we are entering an era where everybody is trying to softball it at the X-Men so kindly that it's hard to get really realistic opinions on the titles. And so while I know you're not reading that much, I'm going to take this as a win. Okay, for a second I was like, ooh, this is a really weird costume for Loki. Or is it Mantis? Or is it Gamora? Oh no. Half of those characters would never be in this. That's fine. No, I think one of the things that is significant, in my opinion, is that the Lady Loki identity has ultimately been relegated to Sylvie. Oh my gosh,
Sylvie.
thank you so much. But Sophie
Sophie
Di
is, yeah. Exactly.
the actress's name.
Yeah. So
And that is such a part of the cultural identity that we're seeing that pop up in the TVA comic that I mentioned earlier that we're going to cover. Because that iteration, although I actually believe that comes from an Exiles book, actually, in the first place, it's so important that we kind of do just kind of let the MCU take over things in the comics where it's necessary, where it's more significant. Because there are so few places where it's more important that it be the Chris Evans version of Captain America. It's not really a big deal to too many people. He's done a great job with the character, but it's not like he redefined what Captain America was going to be in the comics for a generation. When the occasional writer comes along and says, I'm going to throw in, my version of Iron Man, and he's going to basically be Robert Downey Jr., it makes a little bit more sense, and you kind of have to let it happen. I think that's what you're doing with Lady Loki at this point. The original version, while created by one of my favorite writers, the incredible J. Michael Straczynski, she's a really problematic character. And so I'm not necessarily beholden to that identity.
I feel that. I love her just because I am deeply invested in the Loki ship.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I keep thinking that every one of these, oh, the rumor mill says there's going to be another season of this show. Were you ready? I just keep being like, fucking no. Why would they do another season of that? And then, no, it turns out there's another season of whatever that is. I'm really surprised that I'm hearing a lot of rumors that there's going to be another season, possibly, of Loki. One of the things that the Marvel Universe has really given us in the last couple of months is surprises galore. I think because the nature of how the media cycle has shifted since the Marvel Cinematic Universe has begun, we have to sort of allow for things like the surprise can no longer be in the movie for the most part. For the most part, the movie is going to be a place where there are cool key cameos that were filmed at the last minute, so they can't be too integral to the plot. They can't be too much of the movie, because if they are, then they would have had to have been 6 days of filming, and you just can't do that anymore. So I think things like what we're hearing about the cast of Doomsday, sure, okay, yeah, that kind of fits with where we're at. It sort of fits with the bigger picture of what's going on. Allie, I am so sorry. This is so far past my bedtime. I can't believe that I still have pants on and it's after 10 p.m. This is absolutely absurd. So I do, because I'm on air. It's, you just gotta be a civilized person about these things. So I don't mean to keep forgetting the comments, but this is way past my bedtime. And so I just keep forgetting there's other people. I'm so sorry. But so I love Gail's writing so long as it stays away from X-Men and stays on social media. I love that. Also, Lady Loki, arf, bark, arf. I think that is ultimately where most of us landed on that. And I think we all kind of found ourselves obsessed with Kieran Gillen's Kid Loki. I don't know too many people that are like, Kid Loki's a problem. He's a trickster. He's sweet. He's kind-hearted. He's adorable. I will be interested to see if iterations like Kid Loki wind up coming in on something like Rivals. TK, how do you feel about the skins situation? Do you feel like the skins are all kind of like similar alternates, or are you seeing like huge derivatives?
The skin situation is, I will say, very underwhelming right now.
Yeah.
So you're saying there is a game that is not properly monetizing and trying to get your money?
I mean, they clearly have ideas. It's tough. It's a tough thing for me because I am playing the least cared about role. Nobody wants to play strategist, so there's so little investment in strategist skins. But
nobody wants a Charlie in the box.
Yes. I don't know. It's a weird thing for this set of games where I get that a lot of people are coming to this from the MCU. So getting a whole Guardians of the Galaxy team skin, getting Mantis skin where she's in her Guardians of the Galaxy uniform and one for Star-Lord, that probably seems really cool to people. I don't really care about that at all. I find that totally underwhelming. And then Mantis has another skin that comes with the battle pass that isn't any, it's not Celestial Madonna. It's just a random new thing that they created. And so it's just exceedingly unexciting to me. Cloak and Daggers is it's growth and decay, I think, which is a cool concept, but that's not anything from anything. They've never been.
That's exponents. What the fuck?
Yeah,
no one asked
so
that.
It's just it's not super exciting to me right now. I feel like in the future it definitely could be. But and again, like we're 1 week in, like assuming this game survives and they another victory.
I just can't stop winning.
I do think that that's like the 5th one in a row. I also think it's getting late and we may want to call it, but I am very pleased.
That sounds great. I really want to say thank you so much for putting in so much time on the game tonight. Not just for yourself, because obviously I can play for myself anytime. I'll be honest, in that faded Final Fantasy Tactics Advanced replay, when my gadgeteer, when the coin comes up sun side for Red Spring, you can be sure I am resetting to my last save point. So like I get it. But like playing for other people, playing in front of an audience, that, you know, takes effort and takes energy. So thank you so much for spending your time and your game time on your audience time.
Yeah,
Thank you for being the workhorse.
I have fun. We'll be doing more of it throughout the next forever. Sorry, I'm just checking all my stuff. I want to get all the things. But yeah, we'll be doing this for a while. So this is not the last game stream by any means.
Well, amazing. And until we come back to do more streams, I think our next stream is going to be on Sunday, unless something catches on fire and we have to talk about it on Saturday. Kevo, where can everybody find your incredibly handsome self producing this amazing show?
You can find me. I wanted to do that so I didn't cover TK's face when I do this, over on the socials at Kevo Really. That's KEVO
Amazing. TK, if people want to find you being you, talking about rivals, playing rivals, being handsome and blonde, where can they find you?
It's TK Elemental. Nico, what about you?
You guys can find me at NICO Action. That's NICOACTION. You guys can also check out things like this background track over at my SoundCloud and on YouTube at NICO Action Music. That's NICOACTIONMUSIC. And until next time, 3 things you guys can do for us: subscribe, like, and comment on all sorts of feeds, like X is for show, X is for podcast, and HTML. That's husbands talking more or less. But 3 things you guys can do for yourselves. Number 1, please do us a favor and stay safe in this crazy world. Number 2, be brave and play games. Whatever makes you happy, we want to see you guys do it, because that's what you should be doing, as long as it's a cool thing to do. But then the third thing is always evolve daily. Who you were yesterday, amazing. Who you are today, incredible. But who you are tomorrow, that's the dream, and we can't wait to see it. So until then, stay safe, be brave, evolve daily, and we'll see you.
Oh wait, I hit the wrong thing first. So I was in background, not overlay. I meant to do that. My bad.